Ooh, Fredo.
Hey, yeah, I'm back into the barricade. What I'm doing, counting up money from this year I made. Last year was a different story, but this year I'm paid. Just do 6:30 in the club, I let it ricochet. Extreme rules ain't enough, I put him in a cage. Now it ain't nowhere to hide, you about to catch this fade. Hey, if rap was wrestling, I'm in the Hall of Fame. Playing games, better acknowledge me like I'm Roman Reigns. Hey, but you can't see me though. Took a break, now the final boss back with the demon flow. The innovator, I just do the stuff that they ain't seen before. I'm like the Undertaker, a tombstone to put you where you need to go. A match against me and Dog out for showstopper. I'm in the booth with sweet chin music, I'm the showstopper. Like the Midnight Express, I'm on the road rock. They screaming no mas, I'm old mas, dog, I'm a whole problem. You got the money in the bank, I need the whole profit. Running through my ops like Goldberg, like who gon' stop him? Looking at the clock, it's 3:16, I'ma go spot. Then I'ma open up a can of whoop ass like Stone Cold drop. You beating us, the squad like 3D when we teaming up. I got the longest title reign of real rap, it ain't no.
I think we good. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Wait, I can't hear you.
I took the mute off.
I can hear you a little bit now. If you're closer.
I don't.
It's still messing up.
No. I can't. I don't understand why you can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
It's like cutting out. I can hear you a little bit, but it's cutting out. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. I put on the audio. Let me leave and come back in.
Well, I can hear you now, but I don't know.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can really hear you now.
Okay, that's great. I just have to keep the phone right here. And you
Okay.
can perfect. All right. So I was just saying, hi to everyone. I hope that everybody's having a good night.
Yeah.
Welcome to Tackle Tuesday with the NXT gang. And let's get ready to review, this episode of NXT. Now, we started off with Miles Bourne, right? And so he came out. Now, I didn't expect him to be the number one contender last week.
Me either.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere. But, he came out, and I guess he came out to just tell us about himself. And I can understand why WWE chose to put him in the position to be number one contender. Like, he has a very inspirational story.
Yeah.
He told us he had a disability. He was deaf from one ear. And that he's always been an underdog. And so he knows where he stands in the fight. And, he was very straightforward. And I felt like the more he spoke, the more the NXT crowd kind of got behind him. I think he took him by surprise too. I don't think they expected to hear what he said. But then Ethan Page came out. He just wanted to steal somebody else's opportunity again, because that's like his thing. But he came out and he was basically like, you don't deserve to be where you are.
Yeah.
That he's gonna embarrass himself. And that he should just, give him his spot. Like, he should just be there. He doesn't deserve to be there. And so he basically challenged him to a match, right? And I feel like Charles Dempsey kind of manipulated Miles Bourne into saying yes
to
the match.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, you should do it, to prove everybody wrong and to get yourself ready. And in my mind, I'm like, no, he shouldn't do it because this is his opportunity. He earned it.
Yep.
But anyway, he accepted the match. And that was basically the end of that segment. Now, what did you think of the segment?
I thought the segment was cool. I thought it was a good way to showcase Miles because a lot of people don't know what he's capable of and also his background. So him telling the fans his story and how he has a disability and that's the reason why he talks the way he does. I was like, okay, I understand now. I understand why he talks that way because a lot of people, even me, didn't know. I knew he was deaf, but I didn't know it had anything to do with like the way he talked. I thought it was just something else. But now that I know, I'm like, okay, I understand why he talks like that. But his promo was still great. He still is great on the mic. Mm-hmm. He still, he even though he was surprised, to actually go up against Obafemi, I'm not mad at it. I like it. I like Miles Bourne. I just don't like that he does the whole Randy Orton thing. But I feel like he'll eventually grow out of it, eventually get away from it. But right now, he's in NXT. It's developmental. So, I mean, this is a way for him to find himself. That's fine with me. Now, Ethan Page, I don't got nothing to say about Ethan Page. He's the same Ethan Page all the time. He wants to steal everybody's spotlight and take the smile or to take the grin off everybody's face. That's what Ethan Page is about right now. And eventually he'll get away from that too. But I don't know. That's what he's doing right now. And yeah. Definitely go to him into that match. And also Charles Dempsey definitely go to him into the match too. And I feel like it was because of what he did last week, which was goad him into that match with Obafemi. So he felt like he had to get back. But yeah, I like the segment. It was cool. And yeah, I think that match between Obafemi and Miles Bourne is actually going to be a sleeper on a lot of people. But I feel like it's good.
No, I completely 100% agree with you. I thought that this segment was needed.
Yeah.
Like, people don't know who he is. I didn't know he was deaf. I didn't know why he spoke the way he spoke. I thought it was something else too. So when he explained it, it clicked to me. I was like, oh, okay. And then from there, you understood and you got to know him more. Mm-hmm. Ethan Page, like you said, he is who he is. It is what it is with him. But I thought it was a good way to open the show. Now, after this, we had Charlie Dempsey versus Oba Fett. For me, this wasn't my match. Like, I felt like a lot of it, like, it started on a commercial.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of time out of this match. So by the time we kind of got back, we were halfway into it already. And so we kind of also knew who was going to win. Like, it was a very predictable match. So I was just surprised that they put, Charlie in that position, because I feel like it was more like he got like kind of thrown to him, like as a like to showcase Oba. That's like what it felt like to me, because I knew there was no way he was gonna win. You know, what did you think?
I thought the same thing. I thought, I felt like going into this match, it was definitely an Oba tune-up match for Battleground. I felt like that's all it was going to be. It was also a way to basically, since Charlie kind of wanted to take that match away from Miles, like last week he wanted to actually get the title match. So it felt like that was his karma. His karma for what he tried to do last week. So this was his karma, Obafemi, and that's the worst karma of all. You got destroyed by Oba. Completely. I mean, even though I will say he tried to take it to Oba, he was using his submissions, his technical work, and was trying to break Oba down. But you can't break, even if you break Oba down, he builds himself back up. So it's over. It was over at that point, and it was just a quick finish. It was a quick to the point match between him and Obafemi, and it was a tune-up match for Oba, which I ain't mad at. It was just a good little workout for Obafemi. Cool.
It was a nice little showcase, you know, for his skills, because you know we've seen him do a lot of promos. You know, so he got to show himself, but we knew what was gonna happen. You know, so it was what it was, and it did what it had to do. Right, nothing really special. And then after that, we had like a segment with Thea and Carmen, and Tatum going crazy. She's going nuts over there. She destroyed her dollhouse. She threw all her dolls, and she was talking about being betrayed. I'm guessing it's because this is the story they're gonna give her, because of, you know, them releasing Gigi Dolan. Like, you know, clearly she can't be her tag partner anymore. You know, and I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, oh, we're gonna get, you know, depressed Tatum, like now she's, because you know the tears, you had the tears on her eyes, and I'm like, oh, is this gonna be a bit of a cliche? I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. But what did you think of this segment? I was like, okay, I guess this is the direction we're going in.
I thought it made sense for Tatum. I felt like since they gutted her whole friendship. Shotzi's basically not going to be here no more, and Gigi Dolan got released. Yeah, so she lost everybody. Like she said, she lost everybody. So I understand why she was upset and destroying her dolls. What I'm hoping for is that this leads to a more. She's already evil, but a more evil Tatum Paxton. Like somebody who feels like she's been betrayed, left to just die by everybody, and she just wants to hurt people, period. Just because of the hurt she's dealing with. I feel like that should be the role, or that should be where they're going with the Tatum Paxley story right now. And it looks like they're going with that because she came at Thea Hell that way for no reason. Thea Hell just came back. No reason at all.
You've accomplished nothing. You're the same person you were.
Yeah, that is crazy. But yeah, I hope they're going with that. Like if they're going to go that way, I'm on board. Even if they do this depression thing, I'm on board because I guess it's a way for her to work out her pain. It is what it is. But yeah, I like this segment too.
I like that. I like Tatum Paxley. I like that we always seem to have something for her to do. You know what I mean? And we should. She's very talented. You know, she's a really good wrestler.
Yes, she is.
And I'm hoping we get a more confident version of her. I feel like a lot of the versions we get of her, she's very like insecure. She's looking for a friend. She's very lonely. You know, she gives me that kind of vibe, that you know, outcast kind of vibe, and wanting to fit in all the time. You know what I mean?
The reject.
I want to see more, like you said, like an evil version, but I want to see her confidence go up too. I want her to need no one. There you go. Yeah, I think that would be great for her. Yeah. That would be new. That
actually would be new, and that actually would be a cool story too. A cool, I guess, a character arc for her now. Character shift for her to be actually confident and just need nobody else. And she's been literally looking for friendship since she's got the NXT. So I understand. Yeah, definitely. I would like to see that too.
Let's evolve her a little bit more. You know, we've seen the same thing. So
show some layers.
Yeah, that would be nice. But then we had a Ricky Saints and Ethan Page segment. To be honest, I wasn't even gonna mention this segment because it was like so short, but it ties into what happened later tonight. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a pin on that one, and we'll just do it together later, okay? So that we can finish it later. That way we don't do it in 2 parts. So we're gonna go on to Tony D'Angelo versus Wesley. I don't know if I missed something last week, but I felt like this match was super random. Right? It just, to me, it came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? But I said, okay, let's do something fresh.
I think last week what happened was, there was a backstage segment where, well, you know how Wesley was with Trick Williams when he was talking and running his mouth. It was the same thing with Tony D. And
that's how we led to here. Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense. I felt like this match, it was, it was a good match. It was more about the story to me than really the actual match.
Yeah.
Because, like, even in the middle of the match, Wesley said, "You're not even gonna be the Don anymore. Like, Stacks is gonna be the new Don. It's not gonna be like he said his full name too. It's gonna be the new Don, right?"
Yeah.
And this infuriated Tony. Like, he went on a rampage. They just kept getting distracted. Like, everybody gets distracted from him. And so finally it was basically Stacks on the big screen. And he was outside their safe house for Rizzo, right? And he was like, "Oh, did you really think I would find her?" And that distracted Tony enough that Wesley was able to hit the cardiac attack, right? And then he won 1-2-3. The way I described it is literally what happened. Right? I know it sounded like a lot, but that's what happened. And so, like I said, this was more about the story than the actual match. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. What did you think?
I thought same thing. I thought it was just, like, the match was cool. I liked how Tony D was basically getting distracted a lot because he has a lot on his mind after he basically lost his family. His whole family is torn apart, and he had to send. Yeah, and he had to send Rizzo into hiding. We have no idea what happened to Luca. So it's like basically his whole family is just completely torn apart. So it was, I understand why he was being distracted. And this was all about him overcoming that, which he didn't. It's only because Stacks showed up on the screen. I feel like he would have if Stacks didn't. But once Stacks showed up on the screen and basically showed up at the safe house that Rizzo was hiding in, I knew it was over after that. But I knew it was over at that point. I was like, okay, he's not going to pay attention, and Wesley's going to take advantage, which he did. Cardiac kick right to his head, and that was the end of the match. But I love this story, and I was waiting for them. I was waiting for them to do something with the D'Angelo family. I didn't know what they were going to do. When I seen the breakup happen, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not mad at it. I actually want to see this. I feel like this will be good. Stacks gets to evolve and, become this heel. And we can see him in a heel role going up against and trying to become the Dawn. It's something out of a mob movie. And I love that. I love this story. And I love where they're going with it, because at the end of that match, he ran and grabbed the cameraman. The cameraman literally stopped Tony outside trying to get a word. He said, "Follow me." He grabbed him and told him to get in the car too. So I'm like, you just grabbed the NXT cameraman and told him to get in the car with you? That's crazy. But yeah, this was a good segment. I mean, not a good segment. This is a good match leading to a good story. I love this story. And I can't wait to see where they go with this fully, because I don't know what they're about to do.
No, I completely 100% agree with you. I felt like, the D'Angelo family was kind of getting stale.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They needed something to, they needed a bit of a shakeup. And to be honest, I've been very impressed with Stacks. Like, his heel turn has been really good, but tonight, like, I was like, okay, all right, I see what we're doing here. Like, we're building a really good character here. And, let him have a really good heel run. He seems to keep outsmarting the Don. You know what I mean? Like, they keep showing him outsmarting all his people too, by the way. Not just that, the whole family is being outsmarted. The whole family. Now, I do have to say that I did enjoy the way that Tony did keep overcoming his distractions, because there were a lot of distractions in this match. But he kept overcoming them. So, as a side note, I love his gear tonight was amazing. Like, I loved everything. He looked amazing. Yeah. Everything about it looks great. And I did enjoy that shot when he took the cameraman and put him in the car with him.
I was like, wow.
I was like, okay, this is how we do it. All right, we're just gonna take whoever we want.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on this. I really enjoyed this segment. Like, even the whole match, I was like, this is, I didn't know that Wesley was gonna win, especially since Dak wasn't there.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be Tony.
I thought it was gonna be Tony, but then I saw him on the screen. I was like, okay, you know what? This, he's definitely too many distractions for him to overcome.
Yep.
But now I do have a question. What if they're in on it too? Like Rizzo and Luka. Like, I was thinking about it because I'm like, why would you not change the safe house? Like, you know that he knows.
Yeah.
All this information. So why, unless, that Don is just, because that's the only loophole, like the little bit of a plot hole I see here. That's not very smart. And if you're a Don, you're very smart. And that's just not smart not to change the safe house. Like, he knows your whole operation. He was your right-hand man. So I'm like, why would you not change? Why would you leave her there? That just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And Luka hasn't, like you say, he hasn't been seen. And I'm like, because what are they going to do? Just never show them again?
Like, he just...
like, I don't know. Like, either they're in on it or they're going to come back with characters.
Probably because people think that Stack's basically off Luka. They think that he's gone. Like, he killed him. Or not even killed him. He took him out. But I don't know. I feel like, because he told him, like, literally weeks ago when that segment happened, he said, do you even know why I brought you out here? Luka said, about to say that, that word. But that's when we cut the cameras and went to something else.
Exactly.
So I'm like, why did he bring him out there? Did he bring him out there so he can basically, not hear what he's about to tell him, and then he's about to try to persuade him, but without Tony in his ear, or them keeping tabs on him? Something like, what is going on? Because I don't think he off Luka.
I don't think so either.
No, I don't know. I really don't know. It's intriguing. That's all I got to say. It's something out of a movie. For real.
Yeah. I like it. A whole 360 from where we were just like a month ago, I feel.
Yeah.
So they can keep doing this. I'm really enjoying it. And then we have another segment later on with the same story, but we're going to move on. Now, after this, we had I feel like a video package with OTM, right?
Yeah.
OTM.
Just a little quick segment.
Just a little quick thing, just to remind us they still exist. Because, they haven't been around.
Yeah.
I feel like Jada Parker is around more than they are.
She is.
So, I mean, I just had to say it. But anyway, we're going to move on. So next we have Stephanie Vaquer. And she comes out, right? And she's going to talk about Jordan Grace. And she was getting ready to talk in Spanish. I was very excited because I know Spanish. And so I was like, oh, she's going to read her herself. That's like her most comfortable language. Yeah. And then she gets interrupted by, out of all people, Fatal Influencer, Fatal Influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm correct.
Yeah, you're
and
correct.
They're having a conversation with her, but then they're bickering amongst themselves, right? And then they're like, oh, you know what? Wouldn't it be something if we took the title off of you, right? And so then Jordan Grace comes out, and she says, I have to look out for my investors. Which, of course, is the title, because she's the number one contender. And Vaquer didn't like it, right? But then it was really weird to me. This segment was very weird to me. I don't know. It was the placement, because you had, like, Jordan was here, Vaquer was here, but then in between you had Fallon Henley and, JC Jane, and they were quiet while they were talking, and then they were talking and they were quiet. It felt like two segments merged together.
I thought I was the only one. I swear. I thought the same thing. I was like, this segment is weird for some reason. I don't know why, but everybody seems like they're pausing and waiting for someone else to talk. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of strange. I don't know.
It was so awkward. I can't even describe the segment, because I'm like, it just kept going, It's like one person would talk and another would stop, but then they would talk to each other and then ignore the other two, but then talk, and then it was really weird. It was just really weird. Anyway, the whole segment was just to basically set up a match. for the main event later on that night. I just thought it could have been done. Like, we could have literally had this in 2 separate like rooms, and nothing would have changed.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been the exact same segment. But anyway, we have a match later tonight. I'm glad we agree. I thought it was just me. I was like, is it me?
Yeah,
It was
no.
weird.
I literally face palmed my head, like my hands in my head or hands in my face, because I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, oh my gosh, are they messing this up?
It was just awkward. It was just awkward.
It was
but
awkward.
You know what? It ended.
Yeah.
That was the best part of that segment, that it ended. And then, you know, we have a little snippet of the No Quarter Cash crew and why they're not going to be out for Miles' match. And it's because, you know, Dempsey is still dying from the beating he took, so he's going to go to medical. And so then after that, we had like another weird segment to me, but it could have been me. Was it LFG? Was it the people, the women?
Yeah.
It was the Undertaker, and then you had Bubba Ray, and then you had the 2 finalists. And then they were like, oh, you know, you should be lucky, you know, you get to be a finalist, and then whoever wins is going to be here. And then all of a sudden, all the NXT females, all the wrestlers are out like a pack of wolves. Yo, did you see the ones in the background in the shadow?
They just pulled up out of nowhere. Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, out of the blue. And I'm just like, okay, what are we gonna attack her? Like, she's not, none of them are here yet. I think it was just to plug the show, but it felt weird too.
It definitely did. And then like Bubba Ray saying that they have a target on their back. I'm like, I mean, they really don't, because they haven't done nothing yet. Like, I would understand if they were champions or anything like that. Even if they win, or the person wins and they actually get an NXT contract, they're not going to look at y'all any different. If anything, they're going to haze y'all, probably because y'all aren't on their level. Y'all are just starting out. Y'all have no championships to your name. So why are we worried about y'all? I don't know why they were gunning for them in this segment. All the girls was literally coming up to them like, "Are you kidding me? Really?" Like, Flash, you're way better than this. And
oh my God, I know.
The only person and also the one person I didn't want to see there was Nikita. I just don't. Nikita is just, I can't stand her. I can't.
Well, she hasn't really done much. Like, she hasn't done anything. I know she's been injured. I know that took her out for a while, and, you know, injuries happen. But it's just kind of the luck of the draw. You haven't done anything. Like, I mean, I don't know how long she's gonna be around if she's not in any storylines or anything at all. And she still hasn't really evolved. Like, her character was here for a minute, and then she disappeared. And then she was with Oba helping him out, and then she disappeared, and now she's gone again, you know. And then she had a thing with Carmen and her man, and then she disappeared. She's very in and out. And then
not only that, it's like her in-ring ability. When she first got here, it was great. Or not even great. It was like, you can tell she was actually learning and everything like that. Now her in-ring ability feels like she's gotten lazy. And that's what a lot of people, it's not even me, a lot of people on TikTok and everywhere are saying it. So I'm like, okay, a lot of people see this. I don't understand why they're not, like, I guess, pulling her aside and telling her she needs to work more, or getting her in the performance center and actually literally training her better so she can evolve, because I don't know what's going on with her at all. Like, it's just not hitting.
Right now it's on another level, you know, and they just had releases. You know what I mean? And so it's like, we need something new, girl.
Yeah,
that's what we need. We need something new, because if not, like, what's gonna happen eventually? She's gonna disappear.
Exactly.
She's gonna disappear. But regardless, that was a really weird segment. And then we went back to the Dawn. Right? And this is where, you know, Stacks was not even in the house. He was waiting for him. It was a trap. So he attacked him. And then he was just talking. And the Dawn was laying down in pain, you know. And he spent the whole time on the ground. And so Stacks was like above him. And he was like, I'm going to show you why I'm going to be the new Dawn. He's like, you know, you're gonna see next week, because the battleground is coming up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm gonna be the new Don. Like, did you really think I didn't know? And he just kept going. He went on this whole thing, and the Don did try to fight back eventually, but he was completely outmatched because he injured him.
He had a crowbar and hit him a couple
times.
And
I was like, okay, Stack, all right. You want this position really badly. And let me tell you, I really enjoyed this segment. I really did. What do you think?
I thought the same thing. I loved this segment. I loved when he hit him with the crowbar. Like, he was one step ahead of the Don, which is crazy because Don's usually always ahead of a lot of people because he's the Don. But the underboss showed why he's trying to be the Don, because he was one step ahead of Tony. He knew that if he said he was outside of that safe house, he probably wasn't going to even go after Rizzo. He probably wasn't even going to lay a hand on her, grab her, take her, anything like that. He was just goading Tony into coming to that house so he can take him out and actually, let his plans be known, like a villain in a movie, basically what it is. That's how it always is. With a villain, they let their plans be known after somebody's basically defenseless. They can't do much or anything like that. So Stack was telling him his plan, and also, laying down a monologue like in a movie. It was cool. It was nice. Great work, and great segment. Yeah, this is cool.
And he looked the part.
Yeah,
he's changed his outfit. He's not wearing the same thing that he was before. I think with the jeans. No, he's kind of leveled up a little bit now.
And his beard's kind of got a little bit of 5 o'clock shadow. Like, you can tell he's not that same underboss no more. He's really trying to go into this role and he's trying to actually become the Don.
He's another person. He's actually evolving.
Yeah.
He's actually starting to turn into this new character. And I'm enjoying it a lot. Like I said, we enjoyed the earlier segment, and I think this segment was just as good.
Yeah, icing on the cake.
I think it's a really good way to build up their match. Because I think it's the next weekend, not this weekend. Next weekend coming up, the 25th.
Yeah, I think so.
So, they've been doing a good job, and it's all been segments. I feel like it's all been segments, and I think they did good. But anyway, I think we're going to take a few moments for our sponsors. Okay?
Yep.
And, of course, we'll be right back. So, like I said, we'll take a few moments, and we're ready.
Waiting for Boss Man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we don't have sponsors for that.
Maybe. Should I go on?
You probably should, because I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll move on, and then if it comes on, then we'll know. Right? And so then we have Miles Bourne versus Ethan Page, right? Now, again, just a good way to build him up. I felt like this was just a good way for them, because again, we just getting to know him. I feel like this is his kind of coming out party.
Yeah.
Right? He just won the Battle Royal. He just came out, did a really good promo, and now we're going to showcase him in a match against a really good wrestler in Ethan Page. Ethan Page, that man can make anyone look good. And that's why he's always consistently getting these spots, because he's very good at what he does. Right? I thought the match was good. I thought it did what it had to do. What did you think?
Thought the same thing. I thought, Miles, we don't really know that much about him, and although in this match he was still, for some reason, I guess he is just the modern, not even modern, he's the new version of Randy Orton. He's like, he literally moves like young Randy Orton. It's so crazy. Like, everything he does, the uppercuts, the European uppercuts that he pulls off, the way he does the power slam, it's like his mannerisms is Randy Orton. And I don't know how you execute that like that. So maybe he is going to keep it. I just want him to, if he's going to have the Randy Orton mannerisms, I just hope he adds his own flavor and his own moves in there, stuff like that. But yeah, this was a great or a cool match Ethan Page did. he was out there to basically showcase Miles. Miles to take the pin. And I mean, not Miles to take the pin, Ethan to take the pin. And it was a good match. Miles is very athletic. I didn't know that. Like when he did that hop over Ethan Page, when he, leapfrogged over him, he got some air that I probably haven't seen anybody get in the air in WWE at all yet. So I was shocked to see that. I'm like, okay, yeah, he's very athletic. I feel like he will actually give Oba a good fight. He won't beat him, but he'll give him a great fight. And this is to get the fans behind him. Even if he loses to Oba, it's still probably going to be a great match, which is going to get the fans more behind him and have him a standalone, person in the No Quarter Catch crew. He might not even be a tag team no more. He might be single star on his own. But this was a good match, and he won by a drop kick, which I don't know. I'm not too keen on it.
I don't know, because I feel like, is this a roll up, but it wasn't a roll up? They said it was a pin, but I felt like it wasn't really a pin.
It looked like a roll up. Yeah,
it looked like a roll up to me. It didn't look like a real pin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because when he hit the drop kick, Big Joseph was so, he hit the drop kick, and then I'm like, okay, so maybe this is his finisher, because they're pumping it up like it's such a move, like a big move. So maybe it is his move, but I'm like, okay.
I don't know. A drop kick though? I hope not. I don't think that's his move though. I feel like he's been in matches and I've seen him hit a drop kick. I think they were talking about it because Ethan Page blocked the earlier. Like, remember they were like so impressed. Oh my God, we've never seen anyone, block it that way. I guess he grabbed a hold of his legs and he fell to the mat. So I think that's what they were talking about. I don't see that being a finisher. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's not a really strong move.
Yeah.
It's used all the time.
It's literally a transition. It's like just a go-to move when you're in a pinch, basically.
Exactly. But you know what? The DDT has been a finisher too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll add some pizzazz. Maybe they'll add some pizzazz. But for what it was, I thought it was a good match.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with everything you said. It showcased him really well. Ethan Page did a good job in his part. And he won by a roll up. Let's call it a roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, it wasn't a real pin. His shoulders it was not on top of him. He rolled him up. So we're gonna call it a roll up.
He basically flipped over top of him and held his legs. So you could call that a roll up.
So we're gonna say he beat him with a roll up, right? But he beat him.
Yep.
They gave him that momentum going because Ethan Page, he's a former champion. And this infuriated him. That's probably why he did what he did later that night, right? Because he was mad. But let's move on. Very good match. Let's see what's this. Because we had a lot of segments.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part where we had a lot of segments. So just give me a minute because I had to write them all down, right? And so we had somebody that I don't know from Evolve challenge.
Oh yeah, Sean Legacy. Yeah.
So he challenged him, and then we had John Evans' reaction. He did it on social media, and then we had Javon Evans' reaction, and then D'Ashante was just randomly in the background, right? He was wearing like a purple outfit, and he was in the background very randomly, and then he just came up, and they were just having like a little tit for tat about like should he or should he not accept? Because he's like he's beneath you basically. And so then Ricky Saints is like, out of nowhere, listening to this conversation. And he's like, you know what? Why don't I just pick a match? And let's have a number one contenders match between D'Ashante and Javon. I don't know. I was just like, I don't understand how we got here. I understand how Javon Evans got here. But I'm like, D'Ashante barely been here.
Mm-hmm.
I have barely seen him. Why does he? No offense, but I feel like let's build him up a little bit, at least to not make this so predictable. Because I don't see him winning. He hasn't been here in forever. He just showed up tonight, and now he's in a number one contenders match. So that happened, right? And then after that, we had Jada Parker was she was talking to Saria and Soul and Kalani segment. And now basically Kalani has another match with Zaria. That's basically what happened.
Yep.
Lots of segments. And then we had another one, but we'll get to that in a minute. Because first we had a match. And it's Thea Hale versus Tatum Paxley. Right? Now, I have to say, I really enjoyed watching this match. But I actually really like both the women in the match. You know, so I'm happy to see Thea Hale back. And I like Tatum Paxley. And I like that we're making her kind of I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me not get ahead of myself. So it was a really good match. I feel like Thea Hale held her own. You know, she was doing a lot of good technical moves. I'm telling you, the best thing to ever happen to her is to be with, what's his name? The guy who used to do all the PowerPoints.
Yeah, Andre Chase. Mr. Chase.
No, the other guy, the other guy, the one who was technical, who taught her how to do all the submissions. Remember, they had like a feud with them, and he showed them how to do things. He was like one of the teachers that he was asked to come inside.
Was it Timothy Thatcher or whatever?
No. I remember him later on, and I'll tell him. But anyway, she trained under him, and he helped her a lot get very good. And I'm very happy for that because she held her own here. And then, of course, in the end, she was going to submit her. It looked like she was going to tap her out, like Thea Hale was going to tap out to the factory. But then this lady tried to gouge out her eye, and they had to basically disqualify her. And then everybody had to get her off of Thea Hale because she kept going after her eye.
Yeah.
I thought that was unexpected. To be honest, I thought she was gonna be depressed and cry. I really thought she was gonna get in the ring and she was gonna cry because that seemed to be like her new gimmick, especially with the tear things. But no, she's gouging people's eyes. What did you think?
I thought she was ruthless here. I thought like the match was great, and I'm a bias to Thea Hale just because she's from literally where I'm from, which is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She literally went to high school probably, I think, 15 minutes or 10 minutes away from me or where I live. So, yeah, I got a bias towards her. But I love Tatum Paxley, too. I love how great she is in the ring. I love her character. But, yeah, this, toward the end, I won when she literally got disqualified. They stopped the match because they knew it was about to happen because she literally started reaching, like she was slowly going towards her eye. And then she locked right onto it and they threw the match away. They couldn't get her off of Thea at all. So I'm like, oh gosh, yo, they're like, this is what Tatum Paxley is about to do now. Like she's literally just about to be this evil. She's aggressive. She's trying to basically hurt people because she's hurt. And I understand. I understand. And not only that, I love this for her character because it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. It's like, I'm tired of being betrayed. I'm tired of people having friends when I don't have friends. I'm tired of it. I'm going to hurt people now. I'm going to literally make them feel my pain. If they don't feel my pain, I'm going to make them feel my pain. Love it. Loved it. And yeah, I can't wait to see what they do or what they do more with Tatum Paxley, like next week, if she's going to have a match or how far they're going to go with this. Just love it.
I agree. I loved everything. And it's like, it wasn't just the little slow thing. It was the look in her eye. Like it looked like she had evil intent. Like she sold it very well. And I was like, okay, all right. I said, all right, let's go here then. This is nice. You know, I was like, okay, I'm so happy she didn't go for the depressed route. She went for the psychopath. You know, she went for, like you said, I'm hurt, now you're going to hurt. You know, it's what they say, hurt people. So I said, keep it going. Let's see how far we could push it. Because I think, you know, Thea Hale has a bestie now in Carmen Petrovich, right?
Yeah.
So they'll probably have a match together and she'll probably try to gouge her eyes too. You know?
Next week, probably, yeah.
I wonder if we're going to get like an evolution with the dolls. You know what I mean? Like, since she has a fascination with eyes now.
Oh, yeah.
Like if she'll gouge their eyes out or do something weird, or if the dolls are over since she threw that in the trash.
So now she has to play with them, and she used to pop the heads off the dolls too. So
she's known to do, she's known to hurt her dolls. So I wonder if we're gonna see an iteration of that there too. She's very creative. I like her character.
Yeah.
But very nice. Just the whole night with her and going crazy and this match and everything perfect.
You know what I would like to see though? If this year they're going to do the doll thing, what I would like to see is this. It's like, say she has a match, right? But before the match, there's a segment with Tatum and she's playing with her dolls. But she pulls the body part off that she's going to work on. So she pulls the arm off and nobody knows, but that's the arm she's going to injure in the match. That's the arm she's going after when she does the post-match attack. That's basically what she's going after, the body part. I think that would be cool. And also, like, just some type of voodoo type of thing, like how voodoo, you mess with something on a voodoo doll and it messes with that person. I think that'd be cool. I
agree, and it's also a mental game.
Yeah,
I guess because they'll know eventually. You'll see what she's doing. But I like that. That would be really nice. Another way to show dolls. You know what I mean? In a creepy side.
Yeah.
Telling you, I like it. I like it a lot. But then after this, we had the TNA title contract signing between Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. Now, to be honest, they started arguing because Trick has been interfering in Joe Hendry's matches, and Joe Hendry took Trick's opportunity away last week from the Battle Royal. So they were arguing, but then they calmed down, and apparently Trick Williams is now, what do you call himself, Hollywood Trick?
Yeah, the fans started it in NXT. They started it, and then that's when he basically, I guess he owned up to it and basically went full-fledged into it. So now he calls himself Hollywood Trick.
Now he's Hollywood Trick, and I like his promo a lot. I thought it was very well done. Like, I like his confidence, and I like what he said. He said, I'm going to take your title, he's going to take his brand, and he's going to take his fame.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, all right. But then Joe Hendry, his rebuttal was like, this is really your last chance at gold. Like, you're just insecure because this is it for you. He was like, you can show that bravado, but at the end of the day, you're scared. Right? And then they signed the contract. Now, I'm curious, do you think that Trick has a chance of winning the title, the TNA title, on a WWE show?
I really don't. I don't. I really think that Joe Hendry's going to retain. I think it's going to be a good match, great match, but I think Joe Hendry's going to retain because Trick is not a TNA, talent. He's not signed to TNA. I feel like they wouldn't put their belt on somebody who's not signed to their brand or not signed to their company. But then again, maybe they will throw a curveball and put the... I don't think so. I don't think so because Joe Hendry just got the belt not too long ago. I feel like it would be weird to put the belt on Trick Williams just for a one-off, basically. It's a one-off. He's not signed to their company at all. So you're putting it on somebody who basically doesn't wear the TNA or doesn't, wave the TNA flag. He's a WWE product. That's it. So, I just think it's going to be a good match and a showcase for TNA to basically get more eyes on them. That's it. But it's going to be a good match, and this was a good This was a good contract signing. Trick Williams being Hollywood Trick, and which is so funny to me is because he said he's going to be on the big screen. He said he's like a movie. When you talk big screen, you think movie theater. In theaters, that's where he's going to be. Where he's going to be in Hollywood is basically a TV show, which is all American. He's going to be on that season, so it's just you're going to be on people's TVs, not their big screen, not the movie theater. No, not the box office. Just in people's intimate homes. Yeah, just a flat screen in people's cribs. That's it. But it's still funny to me because he still calls himself Hollywood Trick, and he's showing that confidence. And honestly, I like him as a heel more than I like him as a face. I think Trick works better as a heel more than he is as a face because as a face, he's trying to force himself to get over. And, there's a lot of people who don't like him just because of his wrestling ability. But Trick has been showing me something since he's turned heel and since he's had this chip on his shoulder because he's trying to get back to the title picture. So I like this version of Trick Williams. And I like how he continues to show up in TNA and cause Joe Hendry each and every match that he's in. Basically, always attacks him. And Joe Hendry got the upper hand last week when he attacked Trick Williams and took him out of that Battle Royal for the NXT Championship. Honestly, yeah, I like this. I think this is going to be a banger between him and Joe Hendry, and looking forward to Battleground for real.
I 100% agree with you, and I like his new aggression.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it, because when he was a face, it was like he got stale. After a while, he got really stale. But now this is like a new version we've never seen. And it's a good version to have, I think. And he matched Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry's a good talker too. Very good. So I'm excited for this. Do I think that the TNA title could change hands? I tend to agree with you on this one. I don't think so. But there's like a little part of me that it's like TNA might do it because they've done it before. They did it with Kenny Omega.
Oh yeah, with AEW. That does make sense.
He won the title.
Yeah.
But he won the title in a TNA show. He didn't win it in an AEW show, so that's the only difference. So that might be, but you never know with TNA. They have no problem putting their belt on someone else to showcase it on a bigger platform.
Yeah. And I guess that would be a good marketing thing for them to do is if you do put the belt on Trick, he will showcase it on NXT, WWE programming, and it will get more eyes on it. People looking like, where's that belt from? And then they go search for TNA. Yeah.
And not just that. Joe Hendry could keep going after the title. Now he could be on their program even more, and Trick could be on TNA even more. You know what I mean? They could keep going back and forth. They've been going back and forth this whole time,
So
but again, that's just where my train of thought was going.
Yeah, I can see it.
As a business, I see it. But they might not. But anyway, we'll just have to wait and see, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we have Briggs and Hank, and Briggs is sad because his partner left him. And I was just like, okay, let's move on. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't pass anywhere. He didn't move away that far. There are phones, and you FaceTime people. You know what I mean? Like, he's not gone. He's not gone. He's just not here right now. And instead of telling Hank and Tank how you feel, maybe you should just give him a call. Have a conversation with him instead of everybody else. You know what I mean? But then Sean comes up, and it becomes very interesting with Sean Spears because one of his mentees was Briggs' best friend.
Yep.
Right? And so, he came up and he was like, oh, well, this is what you do anyway. You just alienate your best friends and you push them away, and then you destroy your friendships. Basically.
Which he had a point.
I was like, yeah. I was like, I could see that. And then, basically it was like, he was like, oh, I don't have time for you right now. And he was like, I can show you something. I feel like he was trying to get him into a match, but Sean kind of walked away like, no. He was just there to kind of just mess with him. He knew he was sad. Mm-hmm. Basically, right?
Yeah, they keep poking at him, and that's the way that it's going to be. It was definitely cool to see that because, one, like I said, he ain't wrong. He's not wrong at all. Briggs, when they were together, Briggs was basically trying to be on his own. He wasn't even trying to be in the group. He was trying to pull away. So you're alienate. You literally left Fallon. You left, Jensen, and y'all just broke up. And now you've been on the search to find a new partner ever since. But it hasn't worked. Each time you lose your partner. So they have a point. And they're basically kicking the dog while he's down. Mm-hmm. That's all they're doing.
And he's doing it on purpose. He's doing it because of his mentee.
Uh-huh.
He wants to make sure that just stays as broken as much as possible. He'll always mess with Briggs, always.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. I think that might go somewhere.
It's going to go to a match between him and Jensen again, but this time it's the evolution of how far they've come, especially Brooks Jensen. Jensen, he's in a whole new group. He's thriving basically because he has this mentor and a family that actually feels like they're not going to break up and they are on the same page, while Briggs is basically down bad, hurting. It's like they flipped.
Yeah, he's on his own.
Yeah, he's a lone wolf.
You know what I think might happen? I think his partner will come back. You know, because it will be Briggs basically versus everyone, but you have Briggs and he was talking to Hank and Tank. That could be 3 right there, and then if you add his partner, you have another person. You know what I mean, or some kind of combination. But he might come back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But I do think it's interesting.
It is.
I will say I do think it's intriguing. Now let me see. We also have. I do want to mention that next Tuesday we're gonna be having 2 different concerts. Okay, we're gonna have Joe Hendry doing his own concert, and then Trick Williams is gonna be doing a rap concert. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, but
that's what's gonna happen. I just wanted to say that. I just thought it was interesting.
Trick rapping. Oh man.
That's why I was like, okay, I guess we'll see what happens there, But it'll be interesting because Joe Henry, we know what he can do, and he is really good at singing. He's really good at what he does. That's how he became viral. But then now I haven't heard anything from Trick. Have you?
I've heard one song. It has went viral. It's that song that he made for Pete Dunne when he called him. He said he was calling him a bitch, but he's a butch, and it was going viral. Trick rapped in there, and it was good. It was cool, but I don't know. He's Hollywood Trick. You got to be on the level of Hollywood Rock.
Exactly.
And that's
So I hope he's been practicing because there's gonna be because Hendry can go, so we're gonna see. Anyway, after this we had Fatal Influence versus Jordan Grace and Stephanie Vaquer. This was the main event that got started randomly. Now, I will say this had some kind of sloppy moments in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, the roll-ups were very sloppy.
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. And then when Vaquer was there and they were trying to double-team her, she kind of tripped, and Fallon kind of went somewhere and she pretended to be lost somehow, and Jessie Jane was somehow on the floor. I don't know, it just started off a little bit rocky. But then as the match got along, it got better. It kept getting better and better and better, which I'm so happy for. Because I like Jessie Jane. Like, I think that she's come very far from where she was. And I expect a good match from her. Like, she's proven to be a good striker, too. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so this had some really good, like, hard hits. And, like, Jordan Grace, like, I felt like there was this one moment in the match where it was her versus Fallon, and she had Fallon in the corner, and she was just beating her and just hitting her chest and hitting her, and then she hit her with open palms, and I was just like, and you could like hear every hit, and I was like, this is just getting rough, right? And then in the end of the match, that was really interesting because Jordan Grace said she was protecting her interests, right? And so she ended up taking a hit for Vaquer, and not to say Vaquer wasn't in the match. She was in the match. In the beginning, she tagged herself in without Jordan's consent. And then she stayed in the match for a while, but then she got distracted and, they took over. But then, at the end of the match, the Jessie Jane and Fallon, they were going to hit her with a double move, right? Vaquer. And freaking Jordan Grace moves her out of the way and takes the hit herself. And you would think this would be a win for Fatal Influence, but it's not, right? It's a 2 count. And then somehow Jordan Grace is able to get up and she hits Jordan Grace and she gets the 1, 2, 3. And then her and Stephanie Vaquer have a moment with the title, right? I felt like this was, again, about the story. This was more about Stephanie Vaquer and Jordan Grace and how they kind of have tension between them because, Jordan Grace called her an investment and said that she was coming after that title. And Vaquer didn't like it, of course, because she's the champion. And I feel like Jessie Jane and Fallon Henley do their job better. They know their roles very well. And so, in these matches, I feel like they know that, they might lose because they often are losing But they're always showcased very well. Like, they had some really good movesets here. They were on top certain times of the match. You know what I mean? They just always tend to lose in the end. But they always showcase their opponents very well as well. So I think they're very good at what they do. And hopefully eventually they get some kind of title. I know Fallon Henley did have a title, but she lost it very soon. That was my opinion about that one. And Jessie Jane had tag team championships like a long time ago, you know. And Jasmine, I think she's still a rookie, so she's still there to learn. But you know, I think Jessie Jane at least deserves a title, another title run. I don't know which one, but something. I think they're doing a good job. They do a good job of what they're given, which sometimes is not too much. But I'm excited for this match with Stephanie McCurry and Jordynne Grace. I think they're gonna steal the show. Like, if they're so like, I love Jordynne Grace. Like, I watched her in TNA. So I've been watching her for years, and she's such a good wrestler. And McCurry has proven that she's a workhorse. Like, she's taken match after match after match after match, and they have been good matches. You know, she hasn't been sleeping. She hasn't been standing on the sidelines. She's been taking challenger after challenger. And so I think this is going to be another good banger. And I think it's going to be a good match in her book. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to go with the match with Fallon and Jessie Jane. I thought this was a great match. I thought Fallon and them were definitely on top, and you can tell that they work as a cohesive unit, even when they're still bickering and basically, you know, fatal influence. Eventually, their egos is going to catch up to them because they all got egos. Even Jasmine Nix has an ego. She's a rookie, but Fallon and JC, the ego was going to catch up to them, but they definitely worked as a cohesive unit, tried to keep the bickering a little bit or pull it to the side for the match. And you can tell that they were more of a cohesive unit than Jordynne Grace and Stephanie. And yeah, this was definitely showcasing that. Like, how will they coexist? That's basically what this match was. How will Stephanie and Jordynne coexist? Will they be on the same page? At the beginning, they weren't, because Stephanie tagged herself in, you know, without Jordynne's consent, and that's going to lead to bickering anytime, period. But they eventually got it together. Also, it was nice to see because Jordynne literally was a callback to earlier when Jordynne literally said, I'm going to make sure that you make it to Battleground in one piece. And she made sure that was definitely the truth, because she, like you said, popped right into the middle when Stephanie was in the middle of trouble and about to get hit with that double move. Jordynne pushed her out the way and took the bullet. And I was like, okay, well, she's really definitely making sure that she's not going to get hurt at all. Even though Stephanie did get kicked in the, you know, pump kicked into the steps, or not even pump kick. She got kicked off, like, while Jessie Jane was on the apron. She got kicked with a penalty kick across her chest. So she was down. But Jordynne somehow got back up after that move.
Isn't that crazy?
The
she
strength.
Just got back up.
Literally got up, took Fallon out, and then put Jessie Jane in the Juggernaut driver. And ended the match like that. I'm like, wow. Okay.
Just like that.
Yeah. But that shows, I mean, Jordynne Grace is very strong. She's an opposing figure, so I understand why she can, you know, manhandle two women. So yeah, this was a good match, great match. And it was also a good little ending segment to basically them just Jordynne looking at the belt. She's basically being friendly with Stephanie. They're raising each other's hands, but she's looking at the belt the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah, we know.
She knows. And McCurry knows too.
Like, this friendship was good for the night, but right now, now that it's over, it's all about the fight. It's all about getting to Battleground and us fighting each other and seeing who is the best in NXT. Because Stephanie's been proving. She's been doing great work. She was up on Raw, had a great match with Io.
Yes,
she hasn't been phoning in it or not phoning it in at all. She's been literally killing it. Every match, killing it. It shows why she's so over, because literally every time she comes out, even on the main roster, she got a huge pop. And I was like, wow, bro, wow. Like, that's amazing to see, because she's not, you know, she's not a WWE homegrown talent. She's literally been traveling the world to come here. And she came here and she's get a pop right off the bat. So that's amazing to see. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this match between her and Jordan. I know it's going to smack, and I know it's going to steal the show, and it's going to prove what we already know and continue to prove it, which is the NXT women is like their women's division is just the best women's division in the world. Period.
They do. They have a great women's division. Like it's so deep, and it's like, how do you showcase all that talent?
Exactly. They still got
mm-hmm.
they still got women in the locker rooms that haven't even been on TV, and I know a lot of them are great because I've seen them on Level Up before. Like, and they haven't got a shot yet. Wait till they get up there and they start tearing it up. Shawn Michaels and them are pumping out women's talent like
it's
crazy, like it's nothing, literally. And I love it.
But I'm enjoying it. I think this is just women's wrestling is just great.
Yes,
it's just great, right? And it's great in NXT, and I think they have one of the best women's roster in the world. You are correct on that. There's other talents in other companies, but they have such a deep roster, and they always hit it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Always hit it out of the park. And so, I'm excited. I'm very excited. Jordan Grace versus Stephanie Vicker is going to be great. Stephanie Vicker, I'm glad that they gave her the title. They saw that she was more over. She can hold that title more now than Julia. Julia's whole transformation has been great too, by the way, just as a side note.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's end the show. So the show ended. Now remember, Ethan Page, we put a pin on it, right? Earlier. So now let's go back to that pin. Let's get that out. So Ethan Page was talking to Ricky Saints earlier, and he was like, and Ricky Saints was, hey, weren't you coming after me? Now you're over there trying to take away his success, his opportunity. And he's like, I'll take anybody's shine. I don't care. He's like, and I'll talk to you later about your title. And that was it. It was a short segment, quick and to the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then Ethan had his match. He lost his match. Then to end NXT, we had Ricky Saints getting attacked by Ethan Page. And he was like, I told you we were going to talk about it later. And that's what he meant. Because I guess now he's going to try to go after that title. Because he couldn't get to the NXT title.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. I think it's going to be a good match. I feel like we haven't seen this match before. Right? This will be the first time.
This will be the first time.
So I think it's going to be a good match. I actually think it'll be a good match. Let's see how they build it up, because they have been, Ricky Saints has been talking to a lot of people.
Yeah.
He's been making a lot of enemies. And Ethan Page was like the very first one. He's one of the very first ones that when he came in, he's like, no, you don't belong here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so now we're kind of going full circle with that. And I think it's going to be good. Ricky Saints is delivered. I love everything they've done with him. His look, his entrance, everything. And so I think this is going to be a good match. I don't see it coming out of nowhere because they seem to have history. What did you think of this little short segment to end the show?
Thought it was cool. I thought, I've been waiting on this Ethan Page and Ricky Saints, interaction for the belt. I've been waiting on it because they were hinting at it before when he came out there to interrupt him the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
I remember.
Yeah.
And then everybody came out.
Yeah, and then when he also attacked him after he won the NXT North American Championship, when he beat Shawn Spears, he didn't even let him get his moment. Mm-hmm. Ethan Page showed up and attacked him then. So I'm like, I definitely seen this coming, but I was just waiting for it. And now that it's here, I feel like this is going to be a great match. Like you said, they've been doing such great work with Ricky Saints. He hasn't been on the show every week, but when he's on the show, it's a spectacle because he's just a star.
Yeah.
Rose's entrance is amazing. His presentation is amazing. Even his in-ring work is great. It's like, I love it, and I see why they put the belt on him so fast is because you could strap a rocket to him. It's
a total package.
Yeah, and it makes sense to strap a rocket to Ricky Saints. So
and
that's
seasoned.
Great. Yeah.
He's not like a rookie. He's been around for a minute.
Yeah, just like Ethan Page. Ethan Page has been here for a minute trying to work his way to WWE too. So they've been on similar paths. So it's definitely, they're both seasoned vets. It's going to be a great match. And also, whoever wins out of that, that match and takes the NXT North American Championship, will probably be fighting whoever beats Javon or whoever wins out of Javon, Sean Legacy, and
yeah. We'll see, because they're gonna get
Fontaine
involved
Jones.
in that somehow too. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Javon. It can't be Ethan Page versus Javon again. Like, there's no way. There's no way. So, I mean, of course, you know, Ricky Saints is still gonna win and probably go.
He's winning.
Yeah.
And I think Javon is definitely winning that match too.
Yeah, of course.
But-
of course.
Yeah, but it's definitely going to be a good fight. A good match. What I don't see, I don't know all that much about Ashante the Adonis. I don't know how good he is in the ring. I've seen him wrestle a couple times on NXT. He hasn't been that much of like a unique wrestler. Like, he's great. I haven't felt that way about him. But Sean Legacy and Javon Evans, just being in that match with him will make this match great anyway. Because Sean Legacy last week, when him and Javon had that standoff in the Battle Royal, they did some crazy stuff.
True.
And that was
That's true.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be, I feel like this is going to be a good triple threat match. And yeah, it's going to still the show, I think next week. Next week.
Well,
next week.
well, we'll see. I'm sure they'll announce it soon. But anyway, we have to, time to say goodnight.
Mhm.
Thank you for everybody who watched. It was a great show. I thought everything that needed to be done was done. We'll see you next week.
Now we got to wait.
Well, my phone is dying. Let me go get a charge. No, wait, let me wait.
I'm just waiting for him to send us out.
I know. My thing might just come right off in a minute. But I do agree that it's going to be a good match. You think it's going to be a triple threat?
They announced it, triple threat. Between Javon.
Oh, they announced it? I thought that it was
Javon.
going to be between them two, and then he's going to face the other guy.
Nah, all three of them will be in the match next week to
That
see
is
who will
just
fight.
so random.
It was random.
A lot of random stuff just keeps happening.
Especially tonight, a lot of random stuff happened. A lot of random segments, random people coming out there trying to stake their claim to mat or belts. It was crazy.
It was weird. But like I said, if I come off, it's because my phone died. I didn't just leave you hanging. Okay.
If you leave, I'm literally clicking the leave studio button down here, and I'm going too. I don't know. It don't seem like we're leaving right now. I don't know what Bossman is doing.
Yeah. I guess.
That's her. All right, we out of here. We'll see y'all next Tuesday for the Taco Tuesday with the NXT gang. I hope y'all enjoy.